everyone, and welcome back to Introduction to Assembly Language. In this lesson, we're going to write Hello World, which is one of the traditional first programming exercises in any language. So let's go ahead and take a look. In our case, this is actually our second program. In our first program, I showed you how to push data into registers and set up the return value and a little bit about the GNU debugger. In this program, we're going to use a system call to print to the console. So we'll first declare a string to print out a message to the screen, and we're going to use this program as a baseline to add in some more functions to demonstrate the features of the X86 assembly language. So let's go ahead and take a look at some code. So this is our Hello World program, and we're going to store this in a file called helloworld.s. So .s is the traditional extension for these assembly language programs. So let's go ahead and take a look at this code, and I'll start a little bit from the bottom here. So I'm going to declare a string labeled with message, and it's going to be an ASCII string, and it has hello world, my name is Eric, and then a special character. This is a new line character, so for those of you who've done any C programming, this should be a little bit familiar. So also remember that anything that starts with a pound sign in assembly language is a comment, so it's just used for documentation and pointers to help you remember what the code is supposed to be. So a good program should be well documented so that it explains what it's doing. So the first thing we're going to do is set up for our system call to write some data out to the screen, and to do that we're going to push some data into registers, specifically into RAX, RDI, RSI, and RDX. So the first thing is to set up is to which call that we're going to make, and it has the value of 1 in RAX, and then the file handle, which is standard output, which we'll put in RDI, and then our message that we set up we'll put in RSI, and then the value of 29, which is the length in terms of number of bytes that we're going to be writing out. So if you count this out, including the new line string, it's 29 characters long, and then we're going to invoke the system call. In the next step, we're just going to set up for our exit, which is another system call, and we'll push the value of 60 into RAX, and then we're going to set up RDI to be 0 to be our return code. So typically that will indicate that it's a normal return, and then we'll invoke the system call again. So pretty simple program. If you want to look at a complete listing without some of the graphics on here, there's a little bit of a bigger listing. I'll attach this to the lesson as well that you can download the code. So the steps to run this is we're going to first compile it, the hello.s program with the GCC compiler. We'll run it through the linker, and then the linker will produce a.out, and then we'll execute it. So I just put all of that in one line so that it's a little bit easier to execute. So now we'll go ahead and jump into my GCP environment on my Linux machine, and I'll show you the code, how to walk through it, how to compile it, and maybe some things to walk for and some things you can play around with this code. So that's it for the text instructions. Let's go ahead and jump to the environment and look at some code. Okay, now I'm in my GCP environment, so let's go ahead and take a peek here. I've also opened up the editor within GCP, and that's one of the things I like about using this environment. It's really easy to have the code editor and the command line in the same place. So let's go ahead and take a look. I've created a folder here called Hello World, and inside here you'll see that I have this hello.s program. So this is the program that we just looked at, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to copy this string so that I can use it down here in my Cloud Shell. So I'm going to go ahead and change my directory. So I'm going to change to my ASM directory, and now I'll cd to my Hello World directory. So, whoop, there we go. So now if I paste in my string here, again, we're going to compile this first, run it through the linker, and then execute the program. So there we go. Lightning fast, right? It takes almost nothing to link and compile this. So hello world, my name is Eric. Let's make a simple change here. I'll just go ahead and change the last string here and save this program and run it one more time here and just see that we can make a quick change to that. So the other thing, let's make another small change here. I'll change this back to Eric, and notice if I now change the length of this string to 28 characters, I'm going to truncate then that new line character. So we should see, if this works right, that when I execute it, it won't force it to the new line when I run it. So let's do that. And we'll see right here that it did indeed do that, that it didn't print out the new line. And you can see the command prompt then is right over the top of the output. So I'm going to go ahead and change this back. So I'm going to use this for another demonstration later on and save that. But you can go ahead and play around with this code and change a few things and see what happens. You can change the return call, look at the return call status like we did in the earlier program. Pretty simple program, but we're going to use this, as I said, as a baseline to do some other things. So let's go ahead and jump back to our summary and wrap this lesson up. Okay, in summary, we've written our Hello World program using a system call with X86 Assembly language. We declared a simple string and wrote it to the screen. So we're going to build on this example, but hopefully this is starting to take some of the mystery out of assembly language program. A lot of people feel intimidated by writing code at a low level, but there's just lots of little building blocks that you have to set up to be able to do this. So that's really it for this lesson. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye. Thank you for your interest in this video. If you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more material like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also, I'm working on the full class of this that will be posted on my website at destinlearning.com, and you can go there and check that out if you're interested in learning more about assembly language. Thanks again. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.